Every beginner is losing the car in the LMGT3 classes in Le Mans Ultimate. The fixed dailies are a mess. And if you search for advice or being critical, then people say, just learn how to drive. And that is like saying to a poor person, become a millionaire. I've been sim racing for multiple years, built hundreds of setups in different simulators, and in this video I'm gonna provide a solution to this problem, instead of saying just learn how to drive. And in this video I will provide safe car presets for every car in the game. But before we do that, we do actually need to know how to drive. And then I will explain with a model how to understand it, how to make your first tweak on the safe preset, and then you can just go into your community on an open setup lobby, start driving and keeping your car on track, not spin, finish races, less collisions, less mayhem, and actually some progression into a better driving style. Let's go. On Imola, there is like this few corners that I imagine people dying all the time. By the way, I highly recommend to get that overlay that I got here on the bottom, the input telemetry. This is the brake trace and throttle trace. That is going to be your feedback every time you exit the corner. You can have a look like how your brake input was. So I can imagine in the next corners, people tend to lose the car. So let's go there. So this is the corner that I'm going to explain. I can imagine this would happen a lot, yeah? So I'm gonna analyze this now with telemetry and to see where and why this is happening to you. So we're entering the corner at high speed, we're pushing the car, braking, and we're setting a steering angle, and due to load transfer the aerodynamics go forward and we set the car into a slide, and these front tires, they're biting so much and I need to correct this now. Now I'm saving it here, but then the counter oversteer, yeah, that was a bit too much, and I believe a lot of people go off like this. And for me, as I approach sim racing a lot with the car setups all the time, setups can save me from this happening. And I'll explain why. In the example, while we were braking and the car starts to pitch, right? And the car body then leans forward to load transfer. And what that is happening is it's an aerodynamic shift is happening. So under high speed, imagine this square box is pulling the car into a certain aero balance, but as we brake, then all of a sudden this shifts forward and you get too much of it. There's so much, right? So how do you solve this? Very simple. The safe presets that I'm going to provide to you are less ride height, and that means the outer box is more moved rearwards to the car, and when aerodynamic shifts, when we brake, we pitch less and we get less load on the front tires, making it more safe. Now, the safe presets that I'm providing, they also have a little bit of a more stiff axle, so from a mechanical standpoint, there's always also a safer car that won't spin you that easily. Now let's go to a level 2 setup and show you I'm trying to do the exactly same inputs and see how I'm not dying over here. By the way, the previous slide is a book and a product I'm working on to summarize this whole YouTube channel basically into the art of car setups, or the fourth dimension of car setups. I'm not sure about the name, but yeah. So let's talk about when you load them up, you will get this one, 2.1, and this will like, you can get that from the description. Below in the description, there will be a link, and you can just download all cars level 2, high downforce. Obviously, some people might say, yeah, but what about Monza? It doesn't really matter. This will just keep you alive, right? That's the most important thing. So let's talk a little bit about the setups in general. and why I think this is gonna, like with the new update, it's even more personal. The ride heights and packers, they are so sensitive for how the car will behave and what will be acceptable for you, and like what gear you have and your skill level. It's gonna be so influential, but I'm pretty confident that a level 2, yes, it's understeery, yes, it is not fast, yes, you will finish the race. Alright? So, let me show you. Level 2 setup. And yes, it will be somewhat understeery and I need to wait a little bit with the throttle, but at least I get like a car that doesn't kill me every time. So I'm approaching this with the same pace. And what else would turn out to be an absolute nightmare, now we're just driving still. And yes, you're gonna be a bit slower, but this is an endurance game, you know? We need to endure and do lap after lap after lap. And yeah, so. Now, from all of these cars, which is the best? Yeah, that's what you wanna know, yeah? I built setups for all of them. 2 of them, at time of recording, don't feel that competitive or safe, or they feel weird to me. The Chevrolet, I don't know, I can't get it through Eau Rouge. It's something aerodynamically a bit weird. And also the Ford, I'm not so sure about the Ford, but I put them in there, but maybe that will need an update, okay? So, let's talk about, if you want an easy, smooth sailing, BMW is a very good choice. Also, the Aston Martin is a good choice. If you then go to a car with a mid-engine, so the Ferrari, the McLaren, and the Lamborghini, from those 3, I think the Lamborghini is the most easy to drive. But then again, it's very setup dependent. But I really enjoyed the Lambo. Then the McLaren and the Ferrari, I think they're particularly hard to drive. The setting them up was also kind of a pain in the ass, because you have this pitch moment, but then the pitch moment, if you reduce that, then you also get a lot of additional understeer in the mechanical grip section, so it's kind of hard to tweak it that way. Then we have the Porsche, again with the weight engine on the back, the level 2 is absolutely good. So if you want an easy car, then BMW, Austin, and I think from the mid-engines, the Lambo is pretty good. I think the Lexus is kind of tough. Thing is, you got aerodynamics, like you got this force of air on the car just pulling the car into a certain balance, and then the transition into mechanical grip when the aero starts to fall off, then this car gets a lot of grip on its front axle again. So we need to be careful. And there's always this shift happening between aerodynamic balance and mechanical grip, constantly competing against each other. And with this new tire model, that's really like specific. And you can argue if that's good or bad, but this is just the way it is now. I highly recommend, and just with your community, switch them to open setup so everybody can use this. Now, if you got a car set up from this pack and you want to make it personal, so let's say you got the Lexus, you were driving the Lexus, what you're going to do then is, when you think, okay man, nice safe preset, but it's too understeery, then you just increase that ride height with a few clicks and see, and you can just edit the rear ride height, just add a few clicks and see how it is. Obviously, there's so much parameters on car setup building that I'm not going to, I'm not going to explain it because it's going to create overwhelm for everybody who's doing this. So rear ride height only, and I will add a solver into this thing as well. Now, if you can appreciate that, please hit that like button. Say to your community leader, give us the open setup so everybody can choose a car from this safe preset, share it with communities, and yeah, maybe Le Mans Ultimate can use this as a default safe setup. I don't know. We'll see. So, and you know what? I'm like inviting you to race with me on these dates on the screen. We have 4 races left. The password will be SRA, and I'll see you there on the Wednesdays I do that to test out these presets. And I highly recommend, even if you're a beginner, we want to create some safe races here so we don't have all these collisions and stuff. And what I will add to that, because you need to have safe setups that people can actually drive, and you need a close community with like loyal people that really want to get the best out of it, instead of going into this fixed and daily setup races, because that's just a great formula for a lot of chaos, and I don't think that's really enjoyable at all. So go to a community, find a league, like a small league, so people trust each other and take like responsibility for their actions, and use these setups. And yeah, if you really want to go into mechanical grip and get really deep on that part of car setup, I think this video will be really helpful to really get a feel for that mechanical grip. Thanks for watching.